Now, I can go on and give you hundreds of different ideas in terms of where the large markets will be created. I believe, let me give you 3 or 4 industries that I believe are going to create hundreds of billions of dollars of market cap for somebody, and it should be somebody in this room, hopefully. Right. I think the next big industries are going to be created in the genetics. I think as we starting to look at the whole healthcare problem, which I think the pharmaceutical companies again are making mistakes, because they are always looking to see their, if you are a Pfizer, they believe the competitor is come from Merck or other pharmaceutical companies, and if you're really progressive, you might think that some of the competition might come from biotech companies. But imagine once you are able to sequence the genome, epigenome, microbiome, or proteome, in some sense it becomes a big data problem, and the competitor for this thing may come from Googles of the world, not from the pharmaceutical companies anymore. In fact, I have seen the companies like IBM, which have built a complete genetic model of the heart, so that even before you go out and test the drug, you say, I'm trying to modify this protein, they can see exactly what impact it's going to have on the whole heart. So you can come up with a complete genetic models, digital models of the things, and you'll be able to essentially manipulate the things and see the impact of these things, and once you have the big data. So once it becomes a big data problem, it is no longer trial and error. It can actually, you can be able to find both the correlation and the causation of what causes what. And I think that will fundamentally change the way healthcare is done. Also, as you're starting to see, lots and lots of people are starting to build these wearable computing. And there are probably several hundred companies just in the Bay Area alone that have some type of wearable computing. But their fundamental problem is they all are closed-ended system. Somewhere along the lines, one of the entrepreneurs is going to build an open platform where all of the information about the person from all the devices are going to be actually captured by that single individual, and it becomes their dashboard. So you become the CEO of your own health. And somebody will do that, and I think there's going to be plenty of money and plenty of data that's going to be so informative and so valuable if somebody were to do that. I think space is another industry that I think is going to have a massive, massive shift, and the massive industries are going to be created. I think you already see what SpaceX is doing. You can see the orbital science is right behind it. Blue Origin from Jeff Bezos is coming right behind it. Paul Allen has already announced his orbital space idea, and I talked to Richard Branson about a month ago, and he's going to be doing something in the, not the suborbital flight, which he's doing in the Virgin Galactic. I'm talking about orbital and beyond orbit flights. So I really think if you are able to bring the cost of leaving the Earth to some other place in space, it fundamentally is a singularity event. It changes the way things are done. And the reason it is, the things that you can do in zero gravity can't be done on Earth. How the crystals are formed, how the different drugs can be done in a zero gravity are fundamentally different what you can do on Earth. You'll be able to come up with the ways of doing things that were never ever possible. So I really think also the space has tremendous amount of riches. I don't know how many people have seen or not. The asteroids are so rich. There is a website that I recently found called AstroRank, and they actually measure that what each asteroid is worth. And I was surprised to see they think, forget about the worth of the asteroid, they say to mine the asteroid, bring it back to Earth, the profits are somewhere between 5 trillion for each asteroid to 30 to 100 trillion. Each of these asteroids are worth anywhere between 2 trillion to over 100 trillion. And these are all massive amount of platinum grade material, the diamonds, the gold, and the richness of the rare earth elements. So imagine there's so much of riches that exist in the space, and we're still mining it on Earth for minute amount of those resources that are available and plentiful on space. So I think it's quite possible, as you know, that I have a company that actually is building a moon lander to mine the moon. Now here is a guy, as you heard, that I grew up so poor that we didn't have food to eat. If a guy who didn't have a food to eat sitting in a village in India can go to the moon, there's nothing that you guys can't do.